You are welcome to Explains 102, where financial tips are made simple. For many people, life feels like a race against time. Every day brings the same challenge: work more, earn more, and somehow find a way to keep up with rising expenses. The common belief is simple: if you want more money, you must work more hours. But what if that belief is limiting your income rather than increasing it? What if the secret to earning more money is not working harder, but working differently? There was once a young man named David who believed that success came from working as many hours as possible. He had a stable job and was known as one of the most dedicated employees in his company. He arrived early, left late, and was always willing to take on extra responsibilities. Whenever David needed more money, his solution was always the same: work more hours. If he wanted a new phone, he worked overtime. If he wanted to save more money, he worked weekends. If unexpected expenses appeared, he looked for additional shifts. For years, this approach seemed reasonable. The more hours he worked, the more money he earned. However, there was a problem. No matter how hard David worked, he never seemed to move far ahead financially. His income increased slightly, but so did his exhaustion. He had less time for family, less time for rest, and less time to learn new things. One evening, after finishing another long day at work, David met an old friend named Michael. As they talked, David learned that Michael was earning significantly more money than he was. What surprised him most was that Michael appeared to have more free time. Michael traveled occasionally, spent time with his family, and rarely seemed stressed about work. David was confused. "How is this possible?" he asked. "I work longer hours than almost everyone I know, yet you seem to earn more money while working less." Michael smiled. "Because I stopped focusing on working more hours," he replied. "Instead, I focused on increasing the value of each hour I work." David looked puzzled. The statement sounded simple, yet he did not fully understand it. Michael continued, "Think about it this way. There are only 24 hours in a day. No matter how ambitious you are, you cannot keep adding more hours forever. At some point, you reach a limit. The real question is not how many hours you work. The real question is how much value you create during those hours." That conversation stayed with David long after they parted ways. For the first time, he began to question something he had always assumed to be true. Perhaps earning more money was not about squeezing more work into an already busy schedule. Perhaps there was another way. Perhaps the people who earn the most are not always the ones who work the longest hours. Perhaps they simply understand something that others do not. And that raises an important question. Practical application. David's conversation with Michael revealed a truth that many people never stop to consider. Most people are taught to increase their income by increasing their effort. If they need more money, they work longer hours. If they want a better life, they take on more responsibilities. If they face financial pressure, they sacrifice more of their time. At first glance, this approach makes sense. After all, work produces income. The problem is that time is limited. Every person, regardless of their background, education, or income level, has only 24 hours in a day. Once those hours are used, they cannot be recovered. This means there is a limit to how much money a person can earn if they depend entirely on exchanging time for income. This was the trap David had fallen into. Whenever he wanted more money, his solution was to work more hours. But every additional hour came at a cost. Less time with family. Less time for rest. Less time for learning. Less time for personal growth. Many people live this way for years without realizing that they are trapped in what financial experts call the time for money cycle. In this cycle, income is directly connected to the number of hours worked. The moment work stops, income slows down or stops as well. This is why some people spend decades working harder without experiencing significant financial progress. They focus on increasing the quantity of their work rather than increasing the value of their work. Michael understood something different. Instead of asking, "How can I work more hours?" he began asking, "How can I make each hour worth more?" That question changed everything. Consider two individuals who both work 8 hours a day. One earns $10 per hour while the other earns $100 per hour. They work the same number of hours, yet one earns 10 times more than the other. The difference is not the number of hours worked. The difference is the value they provide. People are often paid according to the value of the problems they can solve. The more valuable your skills become, the more opportunities you have to earn a higher income without increasing your working hours. This is why doctors, engineers, software developers, consultants, and highly skilled professionals often earn more than others. It is not necessarily because they work longer hours. It is because they have developed skills that create greater value. This does not mean everyone must become a doctor or an engineer. The principle applies to every field. A photographer who improves their craft can charge more for the same amount of time. A baker who learns advanced techniques can attract more customers. A graphic designer who develops specialized skills can command higher fees. A business owner who creates efficient systems can generate more income without personally doing every task. The lesson is simple. Increasing your value often increases your income more effectively than increasing your hours. Another way people earn more without working more hours is by creating multiple sources of income. Many people rely entirely on one source of income, usually a job. While there is nothing wrong with having a job, depending on a single source of income can limit financial growth. Imagine a tree with only one branch. If that branch breaks, the entire tree suffers. Now imagine a tree with many branches. Even if one branch is damaged, the tree continues to survive. Financially, multiple income streams work the same way. A person may have a job while also running a small business. They may sell digital products online. They may teach a skill they possess. They may earn income from investments. Each additional source of income reduces dependence on a single paycheck and creates more financial opportunities. This is one of the reasons many financially successful people do not rely on only one source of income. Another important lesson Michael understood was the power of leverage. Leverage simply means using tools, systems, technology, or other resources to increase results without increasing effort. Think about a teacher speaking to 30 students in a classroom. Their knowledge reaches 30 people. Now imagine that same teacher recording a course that thousands of people can access online. The effort was made once, but the value continues reaching people repeatedly. That is leverage. A writer can write a book once and sell it many times. A musician can record a song once and earn from it repeatedly. A content creator can produce a video once and continue receiving views for months or years. A business owner can build systems that operate even when they are not physically present. Leverage allows people to break free from the direct relationship between time and income. This brings us to another important concept: assets. Assets are things that can generate value or income over time. A valuable skill is an asset. A business is an asset. An investment can be an asset. Content that continues generating revenue can be an asset. The wealthy often focus on acquiring and building assets because assets continue working long after the initial effort has been made. Instead of constantly asking, "How can I earn more money today?" they ask, "How can I build something that will continue producing value tomorrow?" This shift in thinking is powerful. It transforms a person from merely earning income to building wealth. David gradually realized that the solution to earning more was not squeezing more work into his schedule. The solution was becoming more valuable, developing better skills, creating additional income streams, leveraging opportunities, and building assets that could continue producing results over time. The goal is not to avoid hard work. Hard work remains important. The goal is to ensure that your hard work creates lasting value instead of temporary income. Because the people who earn the most are not always those who work the longest hours. More often, they are the people who have learned how to make each hour count. The story of David teaches several important lessons about income, success, and financial growth. The first lesson is that time is limited. Every person has only 24 hours in a day, regardless of how ambitious they are. Because time cannot be increased, there comes a point where working more hours is no longer the best way to increase income. This is why relying solely on hard work can eventually limit financial growth. Another lesson is that income is often connected to value rather than effort alone. While effort is important, people are generally rewarded based on the problems they can solve and the value they bring to others. The more valuable your skills become, the greater your earning potential. Investing in knowledge, skills, and personal development can therefore be one of the most profitable financial decisions a person can make. The story also teaches the importance of thinking beyond a single source of income. Depending entirely on one paycheck can make financial progress slow and uncertain. Building additional income streams, no matter how small they begin, creates opportunities for greater financial security and growth over time. Another important lesson is the power of leverage. Successful people often find ways to make their efforts reach more people without requiring more hours of work. They use technology, systems, businesses, investments, and other tools to multiply the results of their efforts. This allows them to earn more while maintaining control of their time. Perhaps the most important lesson is the value of building assets. Assets are things that continue to provide value long after the initial work has been done. The more assets a person builds, the less dependent they become on constantly trading time for money. Wealth is often created when income is used to acquire and grow assets rather than simply increase spending. Finally, David's journey reminds us that financial success is not about working endlessly. It is about working strategically. It is about increasing your value, improving your skills, creating opportunities, and making your efforts count for more. Hard work will always be important, but wisdom determines how far that hard work can take you. As we conclude, remember this simple truth. The goal is not to work more hours, but to make your hours more valuable. When you focus on value, skills, leverage, and assets, your income can grow without requiring you to sacrifice more of your life. If you found this lesson helpful, subscribe to Explains 102 and discover how money works, how wealth is built, and how you can make smarter financial decisions that transform your future. Because understanding money is the first step toward mastering it.